Okay. I think we're good here. I think the lights look a lot better than when I did the live review for Stand and Deliver. That's for sure. So I hope everyone's able to hear me. I know that I actually just got here back from work, which was a great time. So yeah, let's have a little bit of fun. I don't expect a lot of people to be here. Who knows? But yeah, this is going to be post show WrestleMania. Just some immediate thoughts. I'm wearing my mommy's always on top shirt because mommy is always on top. Of course, Rhea Ripley did retain her WWE Women's World title against Becky Lynch. We're going to get into all of that. But yeah, WrestleMania 40 night one literally just ended not too long ago. It was a big night. A lot of big things happened. Some title changes, some big moments, some big wins, some big losses too. Like I said, we're going to get into all of that. I got my trusty phone here with all of my notes so I don't forget anything because, yeah, I'm a little stoned. I won't lie. But that's just where I was, and where I was a fun time. There was a good. I want to say there's probably about 50 people where I was at, but everyone just had a blast, and a lot of them actually weren't really big. They're more. I don't want to say casual. I don't even want to call them casual fans because they weren't really into WWE at all. But they had a blast. They're going to be coming back tomorrow. They're probably going to try to bring some more people. So who knows what tomorrow's going to be like? But yeah, tonight was an absolute blast. Today, as a wrestling fan, was an absolute blast. But let's get right into WrestleMania Night One and my immediate thoughts. First off, I want to get into just the production. The production for this show was great, and this is how you can definitely tell that we are in a new era that is definitely led by someone that has a better handle on creative. One of the cool things that I noticed was when the when ring entrances were being done, and when the wrestlers were being introduced in the ring, the cameras they were using was almost like they were using red cameras, but there was like a shallow depth of field, like the crowd behind them was all blurred out. You normally don't see that with video cameras. Normally, there's no depth of field. You see everything, front and back and everything, pretty much the same. That all looks sharp. But with the production today, yeah, they use shallow depth of field. That's something that UFC and the NFL has been doing for a while. So really cool that WWE has picked up on those little bits of production, following wrestlers out from Gorilla out into the crowd. That's another cool thing that they're doing. They're doing a lot of drone shots, a lot of steady cam shots. The production, yeah, really is top notch. One thing too, I did notice WrestleMania normally is all about pyro. They spend like it feels like half of their production budget on pyro every WrestleMania, but this year felt a little different. There was not a whole lot of pyro for this show. Becky got her little, she got her steampunk stuff. I think there was a little bit of pyro for Rhea when the band came out to play her song. There was pyro for Cody and Seth and The Rock. The Rock got like the big fire, the Brahma Bull symbol set on fire. That was actually really cool. But other than that, though, there was not a whole lot of pyro in this event. I don't know if it has to do with the state, if there are state laws that have to do with using fireworks or anything. But there was something that I did kind of notice too. Pre-show panel was great. CM Punk, Big E, Michael Cole, and Pat McAfee were all on the panel. They all had great chemistry, especially seeing CM Punk and Big E. Seeing the two of them in WWE just puts a smile on my face, and seeing the rapport between them. And I know Kofi Kingston and CM Punk have been, best friends for a long time. So obviously that connection with Big E is also there. And Punk just it looked like he was just happy to be there. And it's just great to see CM Punk at this stage of his life, just really having fun and just having a good time with professional wrestling. And, seeing Big E there and, again, the rapport he had with Pat McAfee and Michael Cole, which is great to see. I like the presentation of the stage. It looked big. It was epic. It was clean. One of the funny things is there was a lot of neon green. And, Michael Cole is calling this Triple H era. And if anyone knows Triple H with his entrance, it's neon green. And that's something that takes from, his time in DX, and, when he became the game, he kind of kept that neon green kind of look with his, video entrances and graphic designs and all that stuff. So it kind of fits. At least that's how my mind is kind of seeing it. Meek Mill did the cold open for WrestleMania 40. I dug it. I think a lot of people were expecting Sylvester Stallone. I was actually expecting Sylvester Stallone. That's kind of what I was hoping for, especially with some of the Rocky ties with Chad Gable and Sami Zayn and Gunther. So I was hoping that Sly was going to be there, but he didn't. But Meek Mill did the cold open, and I was cool with that. So that was cool. But yeah, the national anthem was sung. I think this is the third time this is done for WrestleMania. All other times it's been America the Beautiful. If I remember, Mean Gene sang the national anthem at WrestleMania 1. I think Willie Nelson did the national anthem at WrestleMania 7 because that was the whole Sergeant Slaughter thing. And then tonight, and I think that's the third time they did that, the national anthem. It was sung great job there. Then Triple H came out and did his welcome to WrestleMania, and someone on the website that I frequent, 411 Mania, made a great point and said that that was pretty much Triple H's WrestleMania 3 moment. They're probably going to replay that again and again and again. Oh, one other thing too, the opening intro animation is brand new. So they have a new now then forever together opening, which was really cool. It kind of reminded me a little bit of the WrestleMania 6 open with Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior and the stars. So it was kind of like a 3D modern-ish version of that with all the different superstars. I think it actually started with Bret. I think Bret Hart was the first superstar, and then it kind of goes all over the place with Hogan and Warrior and Austin and Rock and Triple H and Cena and everything and Andre. That was really cool. So yeah, but then we get right into WrestleMania, and the opening match was the Women's World Championship match between Rhea Ripley, the champion, and Becky Lynch. And apparently, from what I heard, I think Becky Lynch had like strep throat or some sort of a cold coming into this match. From my perspective, though, I don't think you could really tell. It seemed like that Becky Lynch really brought out the best of herself and brought out the best in Rhea Ripley as well. So yeah, this match was really insane. It started right away with Rhea slamming Becky's head right into the top turnbuckle. Lynch, fought back. There was a counter into an inside cradle really early into the match for a 2 count. Rhea Ripley got a really nice drop kick on Becky Lynch. Rhea Ripley just does everything so well, and she's still getting better. It's really insane, actually. But Lynch delivered a Bexploder into the barricade outside. That was a really cool spot. Ripley eventually got a big boot that got a really close 2 count. Ripley caught Becky Lynch in what's called the Prism Trap. I think that's the first time, and it's the kind of the Texas Cloverleaf hold maneuver she has. Yeah, it's called the Prism Trap, and I think this is the first time I've heard Michael Cole call the move that. But also she, I guess, grapevines, and she kind of goes down, and I guess that's supposed to apply more pressure now. But that was done. Eventually, Ripley also hit a riptide, and that got a really close 2 count. But yeah, things were just kind of going back and forth, back and forth. And the story of the match seemed to be that Becky was really just bringing her A game and was just doing everything she could to dig deep and hit Rhea with everything she could. But Rhea was just a step ahead of her. And that seemed to be the story of the match. Um, One of the best spots, and really the best spot in the entire match, was so Becky got a suplex on Rhea, and Ripley somehow got powered Becky Lynch on top of her, and it turned into, and they spilled outside over the top rope, but somehow Rhea Ripley still landed on her feet with Becky Lynch on her shoulders and gave her an electric chair on the outside. That spot was glorious. And again, Rhea Ripley just can do absolutely no wrong. Everything she does is just great. But yeah, she hit a riptide onto the turnbuckles. So Becky Lynch hit the back of her head. That was a really nasty spot. But then Rhea Ripley hit riptide again for the 3 count, and she retained her title. This was a great match, just a great back and forth match. And I think the point of this match was to really establish Rhea Ripley as kind of the face of the women's division right now. She is untouchable. When she came out earlier in the match to her theme song, I mean, her charisma, her presence, I mean, she just has it all. And to me, she is. And I don't even know where to even call her a babyface or a heel. She's a tweener, but really she's like WWE's like second or third biggest star in the entire company. She just has it. And this match just displayed all of that. And Philadelphia just loved everything about her, just loved everything that she did. Props to Becky Lynch again for stepping up to the plate and delivering a big match, even though she wasn't 100%. But this was all about Rhea Ripley. And now she has been a champion for well over a year, and I'm sure she's going to dominate and continue to dominate. I don't know who is going to take her down for the title. That's kind of the great thing about WWE, especially with their women's division right now. They're so stacked. Anything can happen. Anyone can step up. But yeah, congratulations to Rhea Ripley for successfully defending her women's world title. The next match we got was the 6-pack ladder match for the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championship. So this pitted the Judgment Day, who are the champions, against DIY, the Awesome Truth, the New Day, A-Town Down Under, and New Cash Republic. Yeah, this was an absolutely crazy match, as everyone would expect with this being a ladder match. DIY came out to kind of like a weird, kind of like a DX kind of homage, which was kind of cool. Judgment Day came out. I don't know what Damian Priest was wearing, and Finn Balor. They came out kind of looking like this crazy Mad Max kind of thing. R-Truth and Miz came out. R-Truth was kind of doing his thing. Miz was trying to keep up, but Miz really doesn't have that much rhythm. He tries, man. He tries. I give him his props. But yeah, and yeah, this was a crazy match. It was just started up with a big brawl. All the action got to the outside as expected with a ladder match. Theory and Waller tried to get to the belts. Oh, really quick too. The stipulation with this match was that both belts had to be pulled down. So one set of belts would be pulled down, but the match would continue until both belts would be pulled down. So I think a lot of people kind of got it in their minds and correctly predicted that probably what was going to happen was that the tag team titles were going to be separated into Raw and to SmackDown tag team titles. So that was one of the stipulations too. Anyways, the first really big spot in the match happened when Damian Priest tried to frog splash Tyler Bate through the ladder, but Tyler Bate rolled out of the way and Priest just kind of crashed and burned. Things just kind of went back to the outside. Bate and Pete Dunne hit stereo moonsaults from the top of the ladder to pretty much everybody. Priest and Finn Balor were double teaming the Miz and R-Truth, because R-Truth is phenomenal. Got up to the apron for waiting for the hot tag. Oh my God, R-Truth is a national treasure. Anyways, he got the hot tag and went wild. But that was a fun little spot. Truth just does all these little things great. He's fantastic. Anyways, yeah, things kind of went crazy. DIY tried to do a suplex off the apron and onto the ringside tables. Kingston made a save. Oh yeah, what was kind of cool was um, what Xavier Woods came out in his old Consequences Creed gear. So that was actually kind of cool. Um, Eventually, Kofi Kingston did this crazy trust fall onto everyone. Kingston is just absolutely insane. Eventually, though, A-Town Down Under, Grayson Waller, and Austin Theory pulled down the SmackDown tag team belts, so they became the SmackDown tag team champions. But the match still had to continue, and there was still the possibility that Waller and Theory could still get the Raw tag team title. So the match continued after that. Eventually, JD McDonough got into the match and interfered and pulled Truth down. He was trying to get to the table to the title. Sorry. Um, Eventually, Priest hit Kofi Kingston with a razor's edge onto a chair. That was a really nasty spot. He tried to climb the ladder. Miz saved it though. Priest tried to go for South of Heaven, but he wasn't able to do the move. Actually, I don't know if anyone noticed, but there was kind of a weird moment where one of the referees stopped Priest from climbing the ladder. I think because the ladder was just not sturdy enough. So they did this. It was almost like they did the spot again. But yeah, eventually, Truth was able to tip the ladder and dump Priest to the outside, and Truth eventually climbed the ladder and grabbed the Raw tag team titles. And what was funny was it took a while for Truth to grab the belts, and I think some people were like, well, "Why is it taking so long? Why is it?" And it's like, Truth is afraid of heights. This is actually kind of funny. In my mind, it made perfect sense because Truth is would take up his time. This has been like a kind of like a 3 or 4 year kind of thing with Truth saying how he doesn't like ladders, he's scared of heights. He'll go into other ladder matches. He'll bring like a step ladder into the match. That is his character. So this is kind of a big moment. But yeah, Truth got his big WrestleMania win. He was, I think, 0-6 or 0-7 coming into this match. Oh, yeah. I think he has a better record than Oscar now, at least. We'll get into that in a little bit. But yeah, great match, great moment. I had a lot of fun. Car crash, ladder match. You know, we expected the goodness, but yeah, everyone did a great job. But congratulations to A-Town Down Under and Awesome Truth for winning the tag team titles for Raw and SmackDown. The next match was the tag team match between Rey Mysterio and Andrade against Santos Escobar and Dominic Mysterio. Let me just say that it is awesome to see Santos Escobar getting a WrestleMania entrance. This guy, for me, in terms of lucha, is like the future of WWE. Not to say that Andrade is no slouch, but Santos, he's just the total package for me. So seeing him get his WrestleMania entrance was just fantastic. It was great, honestly, seeing as well Andrade and Zelina Vega back together. And I think that was a Triple H move. I think he realized that Andrade was the best version of Andrade when he was with Zelina. So I think putting Andrade with the LWO, pairing him with Ray, and I think that's kind of a lateral move to get him with Zelina. I think that's kind of the thing. But anyways, to the match. So Ray and Escobar started things out, but eventually Dominic got the tag and he went right after his dad. Andrade sent Dominic to the outside eventually. The action got back to the ring with Ray and Escobar fighting it out. There was a slingshot senton for a 2 count that Dominic got on his dad. Escobar got Ray up top and he tried, of course, the normal lucha thing, tried to rip Ray's mask off. Poor Rey Mysterio. I mean, his mask is always going to be his detriment. But yeah, eventually Escobar got Ray up in the Tree of Woe, got him in the ribs, and he got Ray in an abdominal stretch. But Ray was able to fight out. Did a code red. That was actually a really cool spot. Andrade and Dominic was able to trade tags, and Andrade was able to get Dragon Screw, followed by some crazy double knees in the corner. That was a crazy looking spot. That just looked really nasty. Um, Andrade would eventually went up top and went for a moonsault, but Dominic rolled out of the way, so Andrade landed on his feet and wound up connecting with a standing moonsault, which was really cool. The end of the match was crazy. So the LWO and Legado del Fantasma all got involved. They all brawled outside. Escobar got double knees to Ray in the corner. One of the crazy spots was Joaquin Wild was on the outside on the second ropes, and he got launched. Just I don't even know how many feet, and that was just a crazy spot. Apparently, that was done on NXT. I must have missed that maybe a couple weeks ago, but that spot was wild. And I was like, Joaquin Wild, I think, just saved his career for maybe at least another year with that spot because they're going to be playing that for a while. But that was really cool. Eventually, what happened was after those double knees that Escobar did, two masked guys came from the crowd and attacked Escobar and Dominic. And Ray hit a double 619 and got a top rope splash on Escobar and got the 3 count. And everyone was like, what? What just happened? And even I was like, whoa, I don't understand what just happened. Eventually, the masked men revealed themselves to be Jason Kels and Lane Johnson from the Philadelphia Eagles, which, I mean, I recognize them, but I guess this is one of the things that WWE still, I think, needs to work on. They're a global company, and I get that, they're still US based, but when they do certain things like getting local celebrities involved, it sometimes it hurts because the global odds would be like, yeah, that's cool, but I don't know who you are. So yeah, that was weird. It was weird, but it was a nice win for Rey Mysterio and Andrade. Honestly, I was kind of hoping that Dom would get a win to kind of get retribution for last year, but I guess he's okay with losing to his dad. But it was a good match. It was a fun time, and again, I think this match was really made to showcase the future of lucha libre. Everyone in this match did a hell of a job. So, and then I think the other thing too, a lot of people, myself included, was predicting a Carlito heel turn, and that didn't happen. So, hey, who knows? But the next match was the brother versus brother match that pitted Jimmy Uso versus Jay Uso. And this was a match that a lot of people were anticipating just because this is the third brother versus brother match. The first one that we ever got, Brett versus Owen, is one of the greatest wrestling matches of all time. Definitely the greatest opening match, probably of any wrestling show ever. Definitely the best opening match of any Wrestlemania. And then we got Matt and Jeff Hardy at WrestleMania 25, which, nah, nah, nah. Yeah. So everyone was thinking, okay, let's hope this was going to be more Owen and Brett and less Jeff and Matt. Um, and I want to say that for me, this felt a little bit more Matt and Jeff than Brett Owen. But not that this match was bad, but I think it was a little heatless. And I think part of that stems from Jay being a bigger star, presented as a bigger star on Raw than Jimmy is presented as a star on SmackDown. Jay, to me, already feels like a single star just ready to break out, go on a singles run, maybe win like the Intercontinental title or some secondary singles gold, while Jimmy still feels like an acolyte or a crony for the bloodline of Roman Reigns. So when I'm watching the match, and even some of the other people that I was watching the match, we were all like, well, yeah, it's pretty obvious that Jay's going to win this match because he's clearly being presented as the bigger star. So I think for the match, and at least for me, it felt a little heatless because Jimmy just isn't presented as that big of a star, and he isn't presented as that big of a threat in that respect. But the match was okay. Started out with a suicide dive before that Jay connected on Jimmy before the match even started. Um, we went for Jay went for like a sling blade, but it didn't. It was awkward, and I think that's when people were like, "Ooh, what are things going to be kind of weird between the brothers?" But I think what happened in this match too that didn't help. This kind of became a bit of a super kick spam fest, and I know the Usos are big into like super kicks, but this match really outdid it. It really went. I'm going to watch the match again because I am kind of curious to see how many super kicks there were. It almost felt like an Uso match in New Japan. So with New Japan matches, there's fighting spirit where people are going to like do like they're going to slap each other to death, or they're going to do like these crazy forearms and chops. Or just fighting spirit is like, come on, give me more, give me more, give me more. So Jimmy and Jay were doing that, but with super kicks. So Jimmy would give Jay a super kick, and Jay would be like, give me more, and Jimmy would slap. It would did that for like 2 minutes, and it did get a little tiresome at one point. I think they did lose the crowd a little bit. At one point, Jimmy was on his knees, was like, I'm so sorry," and it was like, "No, Jay, don't fall for this. Don't be a dumb baby face." And of course, he was a dumb baby face, and yeah, Jimmy hit a super kick and followed up for an Uzo splash for a 2 count, a pretty good near fall, honestly. But eventually, Jay caught him with a spear. He went up top and he hit an Uso splash of his own for the 3 count, and Jay defeated Jimmy. About 11 minutes or so into the match. Yeah, like I said, it was an okay match. It was better than Matt and Jeff. I think, at least in terms of a pure wrestling match. Nowhere near as good as Owen and Brett. But I think just because Jay is presented as a bigger star, he's moving on to bigger and better things. I think they need to do a little bit better with Jimmy now. They need to rehab him a little bit more as a bigger star. So I'm hoping after WrestleMania Sunday they kind of decide what direction they want to take Jimmy Uso as in regards to being a single star. But anyways, the next match was really intriguing. This was the 6-woman tag match that pitted Damage Control with Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, and Naomi. Damage Control had a really cool entrance with a bunch of geishas at the entrance ramp before they all came out. That was a really cool entrance. Then we had Bianca, Jade, and Naomi basically on a platform that was lowering down. Same platform that Alexa Bliss has used. Shawn Michaels used a platform in the past. So it was actually a really cool entrance for all of them. Jade Cargill had a different look. Looked like she cut her hair a little bit shorter. She had this whole like crazy thing line going down her body. But this was really a match done to really showcase Jade Cargill. Um, Poor Asuka. I don't think she's ever won at WrestleMania. I think she is 0-6 or 0-7. And she's one of the best female wrestlers on the planet. And I blame Charlotte Flair for this. I'm sorry. I just went out of a tangent. Asuka's one of my favorite wrestlers, and knowing that she is like winless at WrestleMania just drives me crazy. But anyways, so Naomi and Kairi Sane started out the match. She hit with a basement drop kick in the corner to start out, then hit a roundhouse kick. Asuka got in, got into with a tussle with Naomi. Um, she eventually had to make a tag to Bianca Belair, who wound up cleaning house. Got a great vertical suplex on Kairi Sane, and Bianca is her strength is just out of this world. She's able to do vertical suplexes, just kind of march around the ring, and yeah, she's fantastic. She also was able to get a handspring moonsault on all three members of Damage Control because Bianca Belair just is amazing and can do no wrong. Um, Asuka was able to get a sliding knee count for two. Eventually, Belair was able to make the hot tag to Jade Cargill, and then this is where everything just kind of went to a head. Cargill choke slammed Asuka. Kairi Sane went up top, but Cargill caught her in midair. Um, and Asuka accidentally hit Kairi Sane with the poison mist that gave Jade Cargill the chance to hit Dakota Kai with the glam slam for the 3 count, and then we got Jade Cargill, Naomi, and Bianca Belair winning this in pretty much an extended squash match. And honestly, that is kind of what I expected. I didn't expect Damage Control to really have any chance in this match, and this match I think was really designed to accomplish 2 things. One, be a showcase for Jade Cargill, introduce her proper to the WWE universe, and 2, to continue Bianca Belair's undefeated streak at WrestleMania. She is now 4-0, and I am expecting somewhat of me. I don't know if they're gonna do like a title versus streak, or they're just going to go, Bianca Belair's undefeated streak versus Jade Cargill or something. But I do believe that WWE notices that Bianca Belair is undefeated. She is one of their top stars. They may want to start a new streak. I'm not saying that they're going to have her go like 21-0 like The Undertaker, but creating a new streak isn't a bad idea. There, especially with all the talk of the women wanting to have other feuds outside of the title. Hey, let's have a woman have her own WrestleMania streak and have that be outside of the title matches, and have that be something that the women on the main roster in WWE be able to vie for. But that's just a quick thought. Anyways, the next match, one of the big ones, the Intercontinental Championship match that pitted Gunther, the champion, versus Sami Zayn. Again, the little touches of production that WWE does, especially for the show, was so great. We saw Sami Zayn in the back with his wife and his son. He was kind of getting himself hyped up. He didn't want his son to come out to the crowd. He didn't want his son to see what was going on, but eventually Chad Gable came out. Sami Zayn thought that Gable was going to come out with him, but Gable was like, "Nah, dude, you got to do this on your own. You got to step up to the plate." And he was like, "Hey, you owe me something if you win this match." And all the Rocky comparisons were all over the place. We're getting Rocky 3 comparisons, Rocky 4 comparisons. It was great. But anyways, yeah, this match was pitting basically the ultimate underdog against one of the most dominant champions in WWE history. And things kind of started out a little slow, feeling out process. Eventually, Gunther, muscles Zayn, in the corner to obviously display his strength. Gunther went for a chop. Zayn went to cover up. Gunther pie faced him instead. But yeah, this just turned into just a chop fest. And it was great because it wasn't just Gunther just chopping Sammy down, but Sammy was also, he was there too, and he was chopping Gunther, and Gunther's chest was getting just as red as Sammy. So it was great to see that Sammy was bringing the fire as well. But So yeah, Zayn would catch Gunther with a tornado DDT at one point and would go for a haluva kick. But Gunther would catch Zayn with a sleeper. And Gunther would drag Zayn to the mat. But Zayn would eventually fight his way back into the ropes. So he would release the sleeper and just do a German suplex because Gunther just gives no fucks. Gunther's amazing. Zayn would eventually go for another haluva kick, but Gunther would counter with a crazy clothesline. He would hit 2 straight power bombs, but Zayn would get a 2 count, and a lot of people woke up by this point in the match. Gunther would get a diving splash. He would get right back on top and get another diving splash, and somehow Zayn still would kick out. Um, Gunther went for another splash, and Sammy got him with the haluva kick from the top. Zayn would hit an amazing looking brainbuster, and it looked when Zayn hit that brainbuster on Gunther, it looked like he murdered the man. So it was a great little moment, and the moment that I think a lot of people were like, "Yeah, if you're going to take the most dominant Intercontinental Champion out, that's how you do it." So he took Gunther out with that brainbuster, got the haluva kick on the back of Gunther's head, and got the 3 count, got the big victory. What a great victory for Sami Zayn. The place erupted. He went over, got a great moment with his wife. Yeah, just a great feel good moment. One of the best matches of the night. Just a lot of great emotion. Sami Zayn is now a 4-time Intercontinental Champion, but it feels like that this is the moment that Sami Zayn has really arrived as a singles competitor. Last year, he had his big WrestleMania moment with Kevin Owens, but that was as a tag team. Oh, yeah. And one of the other great little production touches with this match was before Zayn went out there, Kevin Owens met him at Gorilla and hyped him up, got him pumped. Yeah, this match just gave you everything in terms of all the emotion that you're asking for. So, Gunther gave it his all. He did a great job being an absolutely dominating heel, an amazing champion. I actually personally enjoyed Gunther's reign as a dominant champ a little bit more than Roman Reigns. I don't know, maybe it's because Gunther, he was, he was champ and would defend more, or his matches were just had different flavor all the time. But I enjoyed his run as Intercontinental Champ a lot. But it is definitely time for him to move on to bigger and better things. And I am making a really, maybe it's not a bold prediction, but I'm thinking Gunther is going to end this year as a world champion, whether it's on Raw or SmackDown, I don't know, but he's going to be a world champion. He needed to be freed up of the Intercontinental title for that to happen. But yeah, great match, great match. Finally, we got our main event, the biggest tag team match of all time, the Bloodline, The Rock, and WWE Undisputed Universal Champion Roman Reigns against Cody Rhodes and Seth freaking Rollins. And yeah, this had a big fight feel. When Cody came down, I think that was one of the first instances of WrestleMania feeling like, oh yeah, we have a pyro budget, and set everything off. I don't know what Seth Rollins was wearing, but it was absolutely glorious. It was like this leopard print, like fungus, blue fungus thing. I don't know, man. It was crazy. He was wilding out. Then The Rock came out for his entrance, and like I said earlier, the Brahma Bull logo that he has tattooed on himself was lit up in flames, and he kind of walked down the center of it. That was just super cool. That was just an amazing, amazing visual. And then Roman Reigns came out. He had to. He's the champ. He had to come out last. So it was really cool to see that, The Rock allowed, the champ to come out last. But yeah, like I said, this felt like a big fight feel. Lot of stalling to start. I didn't mind it because you know what? This is a match that had to, as we say when, in the cannabis industry, uh, go low, start slow. So this was kind of how this match was to me. Things started out a feeling out process. Um, you know, Reigns would get a standing side headlock to kind of get things started out before we would get some tags. Rhodes would catch Reigns in with arm ringers, but he would get a clothesline in the corner. Eventually, The Rock would get into the match, and him and Rollins would get into it. He would muscle Rollins to the corner, kick him in the gut. He would level Rollins in with a clothesline, um, and yeah, and then eventually tells Cody Rhodes to just bring it because he wants to face Cody Rhodes. So Cody Rhodes gets the tag, and the dynamic between The Rock and Cody Rhodes is really great. And one of the things too, I think The Rock was sort of the MVP of this match. He was in this match a lot longer than I anticipated him to be in, and he handled a lot of the heat parts of the match. And those segments were really interesting because he plays such a great heel. He's so menacing. He was out on the outside, talking shit to Cody Rhodes' mom. She was talking shit to him. Cody's father-in-law's there, jaw jacking. Brandy's there. Yeah, it was great seeing all of this handled. Eventually, Roman Reigns will lock in a single leg Boston Crab on Seth Rollins, who would eventually, break the hold. One of the other stories in the match is obviously Seth Rollins being injured. They worked on his back, Bloodline worked on his knees. So obviously Rollins is going to be going in WrestleMania Sunday injured, and obviously Drew McIntyre, who's going to be facing him tomorrow, is going to be watching that, taking a look at all of that, and is probably going to take all of that and use it to his benefit. But that was obviously one of the stories of this match too, with the Bloodline really taking advantage of Rollins' injuries. Eventually, Rollins would drop The Rock with an enziguri. Reigns would get the tag, but Rollins would eventually dump Reigns to the outside. The Rock would get in the sharpshooter on Rollins, but Rhodes would eventually charge into the ring to break the hold. This match got crazy. They started fighting outside, all across, outside, on the ramp. The Rock got into the referee's face and would be like, if you count us out, I'm going to fire you. I mean it. I don't fuck around. The Rock was great in this. But yeah, this match was a true attitude era brawl that just went all over the place. And it was really great seeing that style of chaotic wrestling kind of return to WWE. It was a nice change of pace, a nice welcome, nice welcome return, and you could see that the crowd were just eating it up. The other thing too that I did notice, and I think this is because we are in Philadelphia, we are in ECW country, there were a smattering of boos against or at Cody Rhodes, and a lot of cheers for The Rock. Part of it, I think, again, we are in, Philadelphia. This is the same city that booed Roman Reigns when he won the 2015 Royal Rumble. Philadelphia just does not like white meat baby faces. I think I just don't think they do. But I do think at some point Cody and Rollins started to get the fans back into the match as things progressed, and the match really started to truly escalate. Rhodes and Rollins would eventually hit Reigns and The Rock with stereo pedigrees, but they both, The Rock and Roman Reigns, would kick out at 2. The action would eventually get to the outside. The Rock set up the Spanish announce table to get things set up, but Cody Rhodes would turn the tide and would get a rock bottom on The Rock on the Spanish announce table. And eventually, Rhodes would get. Oh, sorry. Roman Reigns would spears Seth Rollins to the barricade at the same time, so things were just chaotic. Eventually, Rhodes and Reigns would get into the middle of the rings. They would slug it out, and Rhodes would catch Reigns with crossroads. He would hit a second one, and we got a repeat of the WrestleMania 40 or WrestleMania 39 main event. He went for a third crossroads, but he would get interrupted. This time, instead of Solo Sikoa getting a Samoa Spike, it will be The Rock with that damn weight belt. Smacks Cody in the back, and that allowed Reigns to hit a spear. He tagged in The Rock. The Rock would hit a rock bottom on Cody, and would get the people's elbow. No throwing the elbow pad into the audience, though, just throwing the one up in the air before we got the people's elbow and the 3 count. And now that means that tomorrow night, when Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns face off for the WWE Undisputed Universal title, it is Bloodline Rules, which means anything goes, which is kind of pretty much what this tag match was like. But I'm thinking tomorrow night is going to be absolutely insane. Jimmy and Jay Uso are going to show up. I'm sure Seth is going to show up. I'm sure Solo's going to show up. Who else is going to appear? I have been calling this WrestleMania Endgame. Tonight was Infinity War. Tomorrow, Cody Rhodes on your left. That's what's going to happen. I feel it. I feel it. I feel it. But yeah, in order for tomorrow to get into the full chaos, yeah, The Rock and Roman Reigns had to win. When I did my predictions, I said this was the easiest match to call, really, because if Cody and Seth won, there would really be no drama. We need the drama for tomorrow. We need that big, super overbooked Attitude Era brawl where basically everyone comes out. And I feel what is going to happen tomorrow is going to feel like a celebration of the past 40 years of WrestleMania. So whether or not we get all of these run-ins or whatever, it's going to feel like a celebration of WWE over the past 40 years. And I think that's something that Triple H and all of his producers are going to really want to get across to the fans, to really hammer home that we are in the throes of a new era. But yeah, WrestleMania Night 1 was great. If I was going to rate it out of 10, I said this during my Stand and Deliver post show. I don't really rate shows, but if I was going to, so people kind of understood kind of where I felt with the show, I would give it an 8 out of 10. I really liked it. A couple matches kind of brought things down a little bit, but a good chunk of the matches, the Rhea Ripley, Becky Lynch match, Gunther, Sami Zayn match in that main event, those 3 matches in particular, man, though they made the show. But the ladder match was great. The 6-woman tag I really enjoyed as well. Yeah, night 1 was a success. Night 2, whew, I am ready. I am ready. It is time for Cody Rhodes to claim his kingdom and finish his story. At least that's kind of what I'm hoping. That's where I'm invested. But yeah, I'm expecting a wild time tomorrow for night 2 of WrestleMania. Again, I'm going to have a post-show live stream discussion for anyone that wants to join and participate. Again, as well, I'm going to do a very special Wrestler of the Week post WrestleMania. That's going to go up on Monday instead of Sunday when I usually put it up. But because of WrestleMania weekend, just made sense to do Wrestler of the Week post WrestleMania. So look out for that as well. But yeah, WrestleMania Saturday night 1, tremendous success. I had a lot of fun. But yeah, what did you guys think of WrestleMania night 1? Share your thoughts, leave your comments, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to hit that bell icon so you can get notifications as well. Thanks a lot, everyone. Take care. Happy WrestleMania weekend.